All right, so this is our primary textbook for the course. You'll see that what I've done over here is I've bookmarked the chapters so that you can easily jump between chapters such as that. If you go look at the contents, you'll see that it spans everything from kind of the basics of experimental design, the CRD, on up to the final chapters, response surfaces, and a final chapter on your own. There's a lot of content that you need to be aware of in this chapter. There's these chapters. There's from time to time I'll open, and you'll see this in the videos where I'll say, oh, let's go look at this page. For example, whenever he highlights important information, it's usually boxed, or he'll label over here on the side when there's some important points to be made. I say he because the author, I should have mentioned, of the text is Gary Ohlert. Let's see, there we go. Yeah, so he's now retired statistician from Minnesota. He spent many years as a consultant for the University of Minnesota, and I think somewhere else too. But this textbook is really written from that perspective of a person who's worked in a lot of different applied contexts and how he has used experimental designs to help investigate results computationally. In each chapter, or following each chapter, there's a set of exercises and problems, and this is really important. Oh, this is a really poor example. Let me go. I'm going to look at the end of chapter 3, the first one with actual computational materials. Okay, so right when the chapter ends, there's going to be a whole section of problems. And the first few exercises, the number differs each time, are what we call exercises. These are kind of lower level problems that just test procedural knowledge, more or less, for lack of a better way to say that. And so in the homework assignments, you'll notice that I delineate between exercise, like I might give you exercise 3.1 for, this chapter. But then I could also assign problem 3.1. And these are different problems at the end of the text. All right, so just be aware of that there is that difference here, and pay attention to whether or not an assigned homework problem is an exercise or a problem. Now, I'm not saying I assigned exercise 3.1 and problem 3.1. I was just pointing that out as possible assigned homework problems I could use. Okay, I think that's about all I want to show you from the book, but I do want to show you there's some associated R packages that go along with this text that you're gonna need in the course. And so I have a file called Load Course Packages in R that is made available. It may be that you, number one, need to open up your session of R as an administrator. So if you just right click, you can open it. This is probably the easiest way to do it, where you open and run the program as an administrator. Then if you open the file, I don't remember which. Okay, I think this is the updated one. All right. So first you'll want to set your package. I also have, by the way, these zip files. I'll make sure they're all online, but these need to be in the directory that you set right here. When you set your working directory within R, you need to make sure all of these packages and all their dependencies are installed. If you've already done this, then you don't need to do it more than once. maybe mid-semester if needed, but I'm not going to run it. I'm just going to run my directory. So I've set my working directory. And then I've actually already run all these, but you can see what happens if I reinstall those packages. I have, and just to be clear, the reason this worked is because this zip file that goes along with the textbook is installed in that working directory, the one right here. My teaching file, my experimental design. So when you set your working directory, be certain that these zip files are also set there. Then once you've installed those packages, you can load the package with an R, and then you have it ready to go. You should only need to run all of this part one time at the beginning of the course. Of course, each time you run code within the course, you're going to need to load these packages on an as-needed basis. Sometimes you'll use all of them, sometimes just one of them. I think that basically covers what we need from the textbook for right now. I'm sure other questions will surface as we go through the course.